Hello and welcome. So excited to be live with you. I'm coming to you from Prague, Czech Republic. Um, like my little Mona Lisa shirt, got this in Paris. The doing the dab. How do you do the dab like that? So grateful. So if you're new here, we are talking about this is for the women, and I know a lot of you men tune in as well. So I would love if you're a man, I would love to get your feedback on this topic of, when a woman is seeing a man and he says he's just not interested. Like it happens. I know a lot of guys think, oh, it's like so hard for men for dating and relationships, but you know what? The women, they struggle too. Like it's not just men who struggle with dating, like women have a tough time as well. So I'm very curious to get men your feedback as to like, do you agree with what I'm going to say? So when a man says that he's not interested in a woman, it hurts. I think it hurts for anybody. I have this concept about how we as human beings are made from love. I just realized the sign back there. I'm like, yeah, you can really tell that I'm in Prague because it says Praha. I have this belief system that you and I were made out of love, from love. So when someone rejects us, it feels like a shock to our system. It hurts, it doesn't feel good, and I think that that is in and of itself a very normal reaction. And I think a lot of men just think, "Oh, well, it's it's just men who get rejected." But no, women get rejected as well. And so when it does happen, it really does hurt and it leaves a mark, especially when you have a idea about this person and what life could be like with them, and they're very attractive, like it's and then they say I'm not interested. It leaves a mark. And so I think oftentimes when singles meet someone and the person that they're pursuing says I'm not interested, I think a lot of times you can internalize that and you can go, I'm not enough. What's so wrong with me? And really, you have no idea what that person is going through. You don't know, maybe you're just not their type. And at the end of the day, like we don't have to be everyone's type. I always tell people it takes just one person to be your person. You don't need the whole world to like you. And so sometimes when someone rejects us, we take that as I am rejected as a person. And that's just not the case. When you think this way, you send yourself down a downward spiral, which is like, I'm never going to find anyone. I'm never going to be enough. Sometimes it can trigger some real issues inside of us of like reminding us of when we were rejected by our parents or somebody else. And so sometimes we get so stuck in this mind frame of it's just going to continue to be this way because this one person is not interested in me. No one is going to be interested in me. And we really, make it much larger than what it needs to be. Also, before I get into this too much, I want you guys to go to my website and get that free connection movie that I made for you guys, especially you. If you're watching this video and a person has said to you, I'm not interested in you. I think a lot of times in that, because we feel the jolt of rejection, we can disassociate from ourselves. We can jump out of our body, so to speak. I don't know if you track with this sort of language, but it's saying like, it's like, oh my God, they rejected me. And there's almost a part of us that if we're not really grounded and anchored in ourselves, which if you're watching this video, chances are you aren't. If you're not anchored in yourself, then you take that on as there's something wrong with me, there's something not great about me, and then you can check out of your body, you disassociate, and then you make it even a bigger situation than what it needs to be. Listen, if it were just that easy, if someone said they're not interested in you, there would be no need for this kind of a video. But the fact of the matter is, when this happens, it does hurt. It does come with a sting. Here's the challenge of when the sting comes, when you go through something like this, to not completely disconnect from yourself, not completely disassociate from yourself. And what I mean by that, the way that that looks is, when someone rejects you, you go, this is about me. I need to go to the gym more. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. And we start coming up with all these scenarios that basically we end up rejecting ourselves. And when we reject ourselves, that is a sense of disassociating. That is a sense of tearing away from oneself when someone rejects us, when someone says, I'm not interested in you. And I think that most people on some level go through this in their life. I definitely have gone through it. I obviously have had clients who have gone through this. This thing in itself, when this happens, is something that I think everyone experiences. I don't think everyone becomes so hard or so cold where it's like, fine, that doesn't bother me. I think, when we're more grounded, when we're more rooted in ourselves, a healthier response would be, ouch. This is what a healthy response looks like. When someone says, I'm not interested in you, a healthy response would be something like, ugh, that really hurts. That sucks. I saw a future with this person and now it's not there. And wow, that really sucks. Or I really like this person. I thought they were funny. I thought they were good looking. I thought they were attractive. And shoot, that really sucks that they're not into me. Kind of hurts a little bit, hurts my ego a little bit, but I got to move on. There are other people out there. And so while this might hurt for a day or two, I know that, I can just go out and meet someone as soon as I turn a corner. You just never know when you're going to meet someone. That's a more healthy attitude. That's a more grounded response. But chances are, if you're watching this video, that's not the response you're having. You're having a different response, which is kind of that earth shattering, what do I do? I think most people in this scenario, you can, when you disassociate and you think that you're not enough because a person doesn't accept you, the reaction is, how can I be more? Tell me if that resonates with you. If someone has rejected you or said that they're not interested, does the thought process kick in of, how can I be more? What can I do to be more accepted by them? What can I do to be more of their type? Have you gone through that process? And while you respond, I am going to have some water because, as I said, these invisible braces, for whatever reason, do the work on me. Cayman says, as a man, I need to learn how to tell a woman that I am interested in her without hurting her feelings. You mean to tell her that you're not interested in her? Because that says that you are interested. Give me some clarification on that. I just want to get to the comments. Oh, guys, made this new feature on YouTube. I don't know how to do it. It's called Super Chat. And so you can, I think, if you want your comments highlighted, you can hit a button somewhere down here and then it will highlight it for me. And you can I'm still trying to figure out how it works, but I want to read your comments here. And it's making the chats kind of weird. Interesting. It's putting my chat at the top. Hi, Ninja Wolf. Hi to Antonio. Hi, Orville. It's so great to have you guys here. Ninja Wolf is liking my Mona Lisa shirt that I got in Paris. Yeah, I love this shirt. I don't know why. I'm not a t-shirt person, but this t-shirt I really like. Jaroslav, you're from Praha? Do you live here? Are you in Prague? That would be really cool because I'm in Prague. Uh, William says, "This should be good." Cayman says, "Oh, I admit to say I am not into her." Uh, yeah. So if you're not interested in a woman, I think that the best thing to do is to say what you value about a person. Like if you're not interested in a woman, you say something like, and I'm sure the women who are watching this or who will watch this will go, "Yeah, I wish a guy would say it this way." And this is how you say it. You say it like this: I think that you and say the positives about that person. I think that you really have a good head on your shoulders, and I find you very personable and you're very attractive. But I don't feel that sense of like chemistry between us. And I know myself that's, I don't want to do a disservice to you. I don't want to do a disservice to me, but I think you're about, and then you share where you see their value. That's a very kind, gentle, respectful way to tell a person that you're not interested in them. But to just be like, I think the worst thing that we can do to one another is when we start this whole ghosting concept. Like that in itself is very weak. It shows a person with a very low threshold of conflict, confrontation. That kind of person is just, they're just weak. They really haven't cultivated any emotional courage to have challenging conversations. And when someone does that to a woman or to a man, it's like, they just did you a favor, good riddance, let them go on their way, and they're not in your life and they're not your problem anymore. Raul says, "Thank you for your good work. Good morning from El Paso, Texas." Thank you, Raul. That means a lot to me. I should be coming out to Texas pretty soon. Mahara says, "Erica, always love to see you and your beneficial videos." Oh, you guys are pouring on the compliments. Thank you. It means so much to me. I really appreciate it. So here's the thing. Blair says, "I just need to speak to the woman I'm really interested in dating. Stop being so shy. I need to get out of my head." Blair, I think sometimes the best thing that you can do to someone or do in that situation when you're shy is to first go up, introduce someone to you, and just say, "Hi, my name's Blair. I found you very attractive." And then she says, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. My name is so and so," and be like, "Yeah, I wasn't gonna," and then you say this, "I wasn't gonna come over because sometimes I can be really shy, but you were just too beautiful. I had to say something." And when you have that kind of in your head, it kind of gives you the courage because you at least know where the conversation's going. And you're talking about the mere fact that you are shy. So then sometimes a woman, when she understands that, she's going to want to help a guy out and go, "Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Thank you for being so honest with me." And most women will want to help you out in that situation. William says, "I'm more receptive to rejection when it comes without shaming. Why call someone a creep if you're not interested? Just take the compliment and politely say no thanks." I agree with you. I don't think that we ever need to shame anyone. Like, there's no point in calling people names. That's just a very immature reaction. And yeah. So when someone says they're not interested in you, the goal is to not change who you are so that they become more interested. Now let me preface it by saying this. If someone says to you, "I'm not interested in you because you party too much, your temper's out of," what the hell just happened? That's so weird. My VPN just popped up out of nowhere in the middle of the live. Uh, when someone says, "I'm not interested in you," and they're saying because you drink too much, you party too much, you have a really bad temper, you're known to be a playboy, a playgirl. Like if they're giving you that kind of feedback, then that's something that you need to look at and you need to say, "Do I want to keep showing up in the world as this person, or do I want to do better?" But if they're not interested in you because of your looks, your body, your personality, um, there's just not that physical attraction there. Like you can't change yourself to accommodate to someone else. Like that is not a long-term strategy. And I think that a lot of times or I want to say this too, if someone says, no, I don't want to say that. I don't, never mind. When we try to change who we are for someone else, that's never a permanent fix. Like that eventually, they're gonna see through your shell and they're gonna go, yeah, still not interested. You might buy their attention for a little bit longer, but in the end, they're gonna be like, yeah, you're still not my cup of tea. I think it's what we do is when someone says that they're not interested and we choose to stay, we choose to make ourselves more interesting to them. I think sometimes we negate what is great about us and finding someone who is on the same page as us. I think it's almost like trying to swim upstream. You're going against the current. But I think the best thing to do when someone says they're not interested is always get feedback because there may be a reason if they're not interested that could be legitimate, that you may need to look at yourself and go, I've got some improvement to do here. Like if someone gives you feedback and they're not interested because they're giving you feedback, then yes, I think we all have room to grow. But if someone is saying to you, I'm just not interested in you because I'm not attracted to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm not interested in you because you have brown eyes, blue eyes, whatever. You're not going to change your eyes or you're not going to change who you are just to accommodate that person. And when we come from a desperate, insecure place of like, I have to have this person, that is when we disassociate. That's when we just start putting ourselves on the back burner, hoping that someone else will value us. But when you play that game, you've already lost because you've lost you in the process. You've lost your value for yourself in trying to get someone else. So I'm curious if this resonates with you guys. Uh, Ninja Wolf says, no complaints, but seeing other people like just like you're having a hard time looking for a house. Vincente says, must never approach her in fear, fearless. Still, I threw a boomerang a few years ago. I now live in constant fear. What do you mean by that? William says, never sacrifice your boundaries for someone. Okay, I was like, Vincente, where are you going with this? Okay. I threw a boomerang. Now I live in constant fear. That's funny. That is funny. You did promise to make me laugh. Good morning, Juan. How are you, my darling? Ooh, that is Orville just did a mic drop. Can we just do a mic drop with Orville? He just said that so many critiques are really others just projecting onto you. That is the meat of where I want to go with this conversation. Have you heard of this saying that hurt people hurt people? Have you heard of this? This is going on with what Orville said. Thank you for sharing that. Hurt people hurt people. Sometimes someone's going to say they're not interested in you because they've already rejected themselves. And I think that becomes this is a deeper part of this conversation. The deeper part of this conversation is sometimes you will genuinely like someone and you will feel a connection with them. And they've given you implication of that they're interested in you. And then this is where this video is getting good. And then they back off. And then they say, I'm not interested. Chances are you have found someone with an avoidant attachment style, which means they can start off hot and heavy. They can even love bomb you, all these expressions that we have now. They can do all those things to really get you invested. And then they just pull the rug from under you and they say, I'm actually not interested in you. And what that essentially can mean is that that is a person who's already hurting on the inside, who's already those kids are having fun, who's already rejected themselves in the beginning. And now they have felt that you and they have crossed their own threshold of what they can handle in intimacy. And so this is their way of backing out of the intimacy. And so instead of just having the courage to say, this is getting too intimate for me, it's scaring me, instead of just saying it that way, what they end up saying to you is a BS excuse of, I'm just not interested in you anymore. And that really hurts. But I promise you this, a person who does that to you, that person is in a lot of pain. And chances are the mere fact that they cannot just directly address that with you by saying to you, "Hey, I can't do any more intimacy with you. Like, I have issues with intimacy. I have an avoidant attachment style. I'm getting anxious." Typically, anxious people want to hang on, but the avoidants want to push away. So if they're pushing you away, the mere fact that they can't even have that conversation with you says that there are their own personal battles that they're struggling with that they can't even navigate through themselves. And you've made them tap into a part of their heart and their feelings that they don't know how to work through and move through. And so instead of looking at that, being conscious of that, having a conversation around that, they just back off. They just say, I'm not interested. And here's the thing, like, especially with women, I think women will see a man who has his brokenness, who has his hurt and his pain, and she just says, I want to be there. I want to love him through that. But if that person's already pushing you away, chances are they are rejecting themselves. And it becomes very challenging to love someone who is constantly rejecting themselves because most of the time that's going to be projected onto you. That is going to run over onto you. Um, Unless they find someone who can just, put up with that for a long time until they finally feel safe to connect with love. But if you're a person who really values yourself, you're going to go, actually, I don't want to be your emotional nurse. So if you want to work that out with your therapist, great. I'm not here for that. I'm here to do relationship with you. I'm not here to be your emotional nurse, so to speak. And you let them go on that journey. And if someone else who doesn't really value themselves, if they want to go on that journey with them, and if they want to sit through their stuff, then that's on them. But you don't have to be that emotional nurse to someone who has this avoidant attachment style, so to speak, who just basically unplugs and says, not interested out of nowhere. William says, facts. I upset a woman yesterday when I told her that she was just not on my level. So many women feel like they can lead with their bodies and have insecurities about themselves beyond their looks. I must have unwrapped a wound she had been ignoring. I'm curious what you mean by that she wasn't on your level. What do you mean by that? Juan says that's true. Some women try to use their bodies to get what they want, but just sometimes you have to put them in their place. And sometimes you find an honest and down to earth lady. Um, Okay. And Antonio says when a woman is not interested in a guy, she's the only one who will never know what the person is like or how the other person can really love them. They miss out. Yeah, I think when anytime a person gets scared and they reject a person, they say, I'm not interested. Anytime they get scared, they're already missing out on the opportunity to be loved. Fear has a great way of doing that, of keeping you in a place where you never get to get loved. You only get to get tormented by fear. And and it's until you are able to face that fear and deal with it and say, look, I'm not going to keep pushing love away. I'm not going to keep pushing people away. I'm not going to keep rejecting because all this is doing is keeping me in cycles of pain and loneliness that can come with depression, anxiety, all these other things that come along with that ride. So the gist of this is if someone's just not interested in you, like the last thing that you want to do is to try to accommodate them and work harder to prove yourself. This is not about proving yourself. You have nothing to prove. When you find the person that is in resonance with you, that's in alignment with you, you don't have to prove anything to them. That doesn't mean that we don't have to grow. We all get to grow. When someone says they're not interested because they're giving you honest feedback because you've got some things in your life that you need to pay attention to, then get to work. Don't ignore that. Thank that person for being honest with you, because chances are the people around you are not being honest with you. So thank that person, and on in that regards, become a better you. But if they're just not interested in you because that's their thing, they push people away, they get them involved, and then they push them away. That is a cycle you don't want to become a part of. That is something for a therapist to help them work out their own trauma, work out their own avoidance, their own challenges and blocks with intimacy. It is not up to you to be their emotional nurse and try to win them over or make them feel more safe with you. It's not your job. It's not your job. You want to value yourself enough so that when someone says, I'm not interested in you, that you get to a place where you say, that hurts. It doesn't feel good. I'm disappointed. But at the end of the day, I got to move on because listen, I'm a hot commodity. Like people value me. I've got some value on my life. And if you don't see that value, well, then sorry, I got to go. I want to be with the person that sees my value and they see my value and they enjoy my value. But then that comes back to our own work with ourselves, which is enjoying ourselves, feeling safe within ourselves. Because if you keep having this cycle, let me just speak into this. If you keep having this, if it's someone who it's just a one-off, one person says, "Oh, I'm not interested in you," then you go, "That's that one person." But if this is a reoccurring cycle, you keep having person after person saying to you that they're not interested in you, then it's time to do some inventory. Then it's time to do some personal feedback, getting with close friends and saying, "Hey, I keep getting this same experience. Are there some things that you see that I could grow in, that I can change in?" So, once, sure. If it's happening all the time, this is the universe giving you some feedback of there needs to be some altering in that character of yours or in your emotional well-being or how you value and see yourself. And this is an opportunity for you to grow. So that's something you want to keep in mind. William says she couldn't carry a conversation. She just wanted money. And I'm always wondering where you guys meet these people that just straight up ask you for money. Um, Juan says, I just tell a lady that I am blunt. I'm sorry. I just don't like being lied to and taken advantage of. Blair says, angry people are normally afraid losing someone they really care about. Man, you guys are dropping some truth bombs up in this chat today, and I am loving it. Yes, you guys are bringing the heat. I agree. Angry people, and I would even say hurt people, are afraid of losing someone they really care about. And it's almost that concept of let me abandon you before you abandon me. Let me get rid of you before I perceive the threat of you potentially leaving me. Well said. William says, my rejection was information and correction, and the focus was about her getting money for her looks. Yeah, no, 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 no. I'm not on that level. I hope that explains the experience for you. Yeah, that's really good. And good for you for standing your ground and saying, like, come on, man. Like, I'm not here for that. I'm not here to dish out money because you think someone owes that to you. So guys, I don't know. Tell me in the chat section, how many of you have gotten that connection meditation? Have you watched it yet? I'm really curious if anyone here has seen it yet. I'm getting some really good feedback on it. So I would love to know if you guys who are on this chat, have you all gotten it? Juan, have you gotten my connection meditation, that mind movie I made? Blair, Nathan, William, Ninja Wolf, Orville. Yes, Nathan, you need to watch that. Just go to my website, ericaangelo.com. It's right up there. It just says to start working with me. It's totally free just to download. Orville, you guys got to get this. You got to go get it today. Go to ericaangelo.com. Yes. Oh my gosh, Antonio, you guys, you're missing out. Blair, oh my God, you guys are missing out. You got to go to my website and get that. Yeah, Ninja, give it a try. It is beautiful. And then in the next live video tomorrow, I want to hear what you guys thought about it. So come back to the live tomorrow. It's going to be at the same time. And you guys tell me what you think. I want to hear. I personally love it. I love the words that are being said. I like the way that it personally, even though it's my own voice and my own meditation, when I watch it, it is just super soothing and super hopeful and creates this ease with love. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful gift that I've made for you guys. So I want you guys to go get it today. And I want you to tell me tomorrow what you thought about it. I'm very curious. Cayman, you got the connection meditation. Did you watch the movie that I put with it, the video? And what did you think of it? William, you're so welcome. Thank you for being here. I love the wisdom that you guys are bringing to this chat today. It's so, so good. And, I know some of the things that you guys have brought up. There's going to be someone who watches this video and they're going to go, wow, I'm so glad that that person brought this up, because when they brought it up and Erica gave advice about it, it is exactly what I needed to hear. And I was just about to make this one decision and I changed because of this video. So you just never know when you chat and when you suggest something and you say something and then I'm able to expand on it, how someone else can later watch this video and it completely changes their life. It changes a decision that they were going to make. It changes how they were going to move forward and they go in a different direction and their life is better because you chose to use your voice. Mahara says, yesterday you opened my eyes in one of your videos about girls only wanting rich guys and extremely handsome and sexy guys. When you said it's because we're not valuing ourselves enough, mental shift. Wow, I love that so, so, so much. Yeah, I've watched people who, I'm telling you, who have not, who don't have tons of money, who aren't the best looking guys, and you see them get really good looking women. And it's guys who just decided to own who they are. They own all parts of who they are. I have a wonderful couple of friends. They're a couple. And at their wedding, she used to be a model. And I just get so tickled. She used to be a model, and he's a comedian, and he's going bald, and he's overweight, and she's beautiful. And he doesn't make tons of money because he's a comedian and an actor, and they now have a daughter and they're pregnant and again, and he at their wedding at at the reception, he just owned it. He was just like, yeah, she's beautiful, she was a model, and here's me. And I will tell you the difference between this guy and a lot of other guys is he just owns it. He owns it. He's overweight, he owns it, he's balding, but he's really funny and he's a really bright guy and he's super creative and he's very driven with his craft. And so all of these things made him very attractive to my friend, and now they're married and they've got their second child coming. So I think a person who really owns themselves and says, this is who I am, good, bad, or indifferent. I enjoy myself. I love myself. I create a very full life for myself. That makes you very attractive to a person, because good looks, they fade. And money, guys can have I lived in Los Angeles for many years. Guys can have tons of money and just be miserable men on the inside and be lost souls and hurting souls and just very unhealthy people on the inside. And a smart woman will go, it's not worth the money that they have. You can only go on so many trips, you can only buy so many bags, but when a person is miserable on the inside, it's not worth wasting your life doing life with them. um Mahara says, I immediately had an abundant confidence due to that immediate mental shift. I am good looking, handsome, and smart and talented man, but lacked a lot of confidence, too shy. I am so, so, so proud of you. I'm so glad that you listened to my advice and it just created that shift. And that's so true, right? When you watch these videos, like you never know, like just that one thing that I get inspired to say, or one thing that someone says in the chat that can completely open up your eyes and give you a different experience with love, a different experience with dating, a different experience in relationships. You just never know. And that's why, like, keeping an open heart, remaining curious, watching these videos, you just never know when you're going to have that kind of a mental shift and your entire life changes. So, are you ready for a pep talk? Who's ready for a pep talk in here? I'm ready to bring you a pep talk with my shirt. Mm. Before I give you the pep talk, guess what I saw last night, you guys? My hair is like, hell yes. Okay, I'm gonna give you the pep talk. Selwood says that's true. I have money and I'm still miserable, but I'd be more miserable without money. I agree with that. I think that money definitely helps. But at the end of the day, if you're miserable, like that doesn't go away. Money doesn't make that problem go away. It just creates more experiences in your life, but then when the experiences are over, the vacation's over, the high of buying something new is over, the high of going to new restaurants over, you still go home and you're still in the same state. So it's almost like you're stuck in this golden cage. But Selwood, I'm curious as to why you're so miserable. Um, okay, guess what I watched last night, you guys? I watched it in Prague. I just saw for the first time Maverick last night. Holy crap. I was on the edge of my seat. That was so freaking good, that movie. They did a brilliant job. Like from start to finish, I was just on the edge of my seat. So yeah, they did a great job with that movie. It was so good. Oh yeah, Mayher says, "I love that movie. I already watched it twice." I'm like, "Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies that I'll be watching again for sure." Blair, I was just sharing that I watched Maverick last night, the second Top Gun movie. But you know what I was so disappointed with? Why didn't they say the line in this movie? Maybe someone can Google it. But why didn't they say that line where he says, "I feel a need for speed"? The whole movie, I kept waiting for that line and it just never came. I thought, well, I can't tell you about the movie because then I'll give it away, but I will give that away. They never said that line. I was so bummed. Okay, so here is your pep talk. If someone says they're not interested, what that really means is it's the universe saying, this is not your person. Turn the corner because there's someone else waiting for you. But in the meantime, enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, enjoy who you are becoming. Don't just stay small. Don't just stay where you are. Grow, evolve. Allow this person's rejection to be a push inside of you where you say, okay, they may not be my person, but where can I grow out of this? Where can I evolve? Where can I feel better about myself? What is it about them not wanting me makes me feel small? Let me address those areas in my life where I feel small about myself. Let me investigate that and let me do something about that. Let me confront those areas that feel insignificant or insecure, because chances are when someone says they're not interested, all they end up doing is highlighting in you places where you have forgotten your value, where you have forgotten where you are, meaning where you are in terms of this life, your value that you bring to this world, what makes you special, what makes you unique, What makes you stand out? What makes you lovable to the people in your life right now? So when that person says, I'm not interested, and you feel pain, yay, they just opened up a door for you to go, how can I investigate where I don't feel good about me? And how can I change that? What can I do to change it? As opposed to just being upset that they've rejected you, shaming them and saying, oh, they're an idiot, they're this, they're that. That's not the path. That's not the emotional warrior path. That's a victim mentality. Go, okay, you didn't like me? Okay, great. Ouch, it hurts. I have a reaction. Where am I having self limiting thoughts? Where am I downplaying myself? Where do I feel small at myself? Okay, how am I going to address this? How am I going to correct this in my life? Do I need to go to the gym? Do I need to hire a coach? Do I need to change my fashion? Do I need to start finally listening to Erica when she talks about loving myself and getting in front of a mirror and talking to myself? Am I ready to start doing that? But just staying small in that feeling of insecurity and just sitting there and hanging out there and ordering pizza and eating brownies and Cheetos and just festering in that insecurity is not the solution. The solution is feel the pain and then make a difference. Make some changes. Selwood says, are you Native American? I am. I am part Aztec. I'm Mexican Spanish, and obviously Mexican is, Native American, and I am from the Aztecs, Azteca. William says, exactly. A woman can be sexy without sacrificing her character. Look at Erica. She provides intelligence and a sexy vibe with taste. Thank you. I'll take that. Guys, so tomorrow, another live coming. And those of you who are here, I want to see you there tomorrow. And I want to hear what you guys thought of this connection meditation that I made for you. I'm so excited for you guys to listen to it. And once you get it and once you listen to it, I've been encouraging you guys to listen to it in the morning when you first wake up, when your mind's alert, when your subconscious is ready to receive. And right before you go to bed, listen to it again, because your subconscious is more and it's in its second wave of receiving, in that state of being able to hear the words and let them seep into your subconscious. Because a lot of times we have subconscious blocks that keep us single, that keep us away from love, that keep us in a position where we keep getting rejected. And sometimes if we have something that goes into our subconscious that transitions that lie into truth, into love, into beauty, into self-acceptance, it changes the dynamic of how life manifests for us. So make sure you guys go and get that. Guys, it's been so wonderful being here with you. I really appreciate the gems that you guys were sharing today. You guys were really saying some powerful statements. And I just love when you guys show up this way. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of the chat, for writing in. It's so wonderful. It makes this even more enjoyable and more exciting for me. Maher says, exactly. I stopped fighting it a while ago. If someone's not interested, then I just continue. If someone's interested, then I just continue doing my thing, improving my physique, my mind, financial situation. No one woman's rejection will stop me. I love that. Guys, I love you so, so, so much. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And I can't wait to hear what you think of that connection meditation at my website, aricaangelo.com. Erica's with an A, no E. See you tomorrow. Loving you guys. Bye.